It's
This
me.
is Black
It's the
American
Chicago
Homeland.
Observer. Yeah. So okay, can I get to my question? Can I ask Mr.
Dana, they're not inaccurate. They're not inaccurate.
Hello, good evening, everybody, and how you doing, Judge Joe Brown?
All right, sir.
Hey, I've been watching you for years, man. But I just want to ask you a question, and I'm before I ask the question, I just want to throw out some statistics here. So, and you guys can Google this if you guys don't believe me, but black people commit 50% of the crimes in America. Black people shoot more black people than any other race. Police shoot 60% more white people than any other race, but that's due to them being the majority. But we vote for these people that are in office, the same people that say they're the same people that were against the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. Just want to throw that out there that those were the Democrats in the 1800s. There was a man named LBJ saying that we will have these N words voting Democrat for over 200 years. And we've been so indoctrinated like with the music and the media that they feed to only black people. Because if we look at China, I'm just going to use TikTok for example. In America, what they feed to us on TikTok, they just feed a bunch of nonsense. But in China, which TikTok is created in, they show all type of educational stuff and things like that. So, with knowing all of this information, how can we get Black Americans to get the respect and dignity that they had during like Martin Luther King days, and like James Baldwin, Louis Farrakhan, Nikki Giovanni, Rosa Parks? I'm getting it
They
from
are
Black Demographics, the CDC, and I'm getting it from the U.S. Census Bureau. I got that from the U.S. Census Bureau, ma'am. That's coming from. Do
Th- Those are violent crimes. They're violent crimes, not actual
There you
all
go.
crimes.
There you go. It's
This
me.
is Black
It's the
American
Chicago
Homeland.
Observer. Yeah. So okay. Can I get to my question? Can I ask Mr. Joe?
Dana, they're not inaccurate. They're not inaccurate.
Okay. So back to Mr. Judge Joe Brown. How can we get Black Americans to get the respect and dignity that we had during, Martin Luther King, James Baldwin, Louis Farrakhan, and Rosa Parks, Nikki Giovanni, you know,
Now, who do we have like that right now?
Nobody.
That's the problem. We have
that's
become
yeah, that's the
fixated
point I was
on
trying to. Yeah.
glorifying goddamn dysfunction. Now, we have to stop thinking the way we're doing. Propaganda in the communications networks that we have right now can be started and successfully imposed inside of 6 days to 6 weeks
But don't
with
you think?
modern.
But
Better
don't you
be
think
before
things like?
November 5th.
But I'm saying like, don't you think the rest of the world is looking at things like for example, like illiteracy rate? Like we have the lowest illiteracy rate in America. Like,
Fourth grade reading
like
level.
how do we fix things like this instead of going back and forth bickering about nonsense?
Okay,
Fact.
I'll give you a look. Look, facts. Ulysses Simpson Grant, in his memoirs, wrote about it. He implemented a study in the Union Army at the end of the Civil War.
Tell that.
1/3 of the Union Army was black or colored volunteers. And he said he was initially astonished when the survey came back to show that the only completely literate units, company size or larger, in the whole Union Army were colored. And then he said, when he thought about it, he wasn't surprised. He said, because you never saw a colored soldier who didn't have a book to read, didn't have a letter to write, wasn't trying to learn his math or better himself, and they didn't get drunk like white troops. They were focused, they were brave, courageous, and they took care of their business. Now, what the hell happened? See, if you can do that then, you can do it now. It's just that what we put out there is a game that Hollywood put on the people, the whole country, because they wanted to spread this rainbow shit. They've been doing it for 50 goddamn years.
Right. And how
And the
so
plan,
oops, sorry.
go ahead.
But yeah, and I agree with that, and I understand everything you're saying. But the things that black people know, how do we like get out of this as far as like the stuff that's being put out there, like in the music, like with all the stuff that we got on social media that the black community promote. How do we get out of that and go into a new sphere as far as getting into things that really matter, like education,
Okay.
and
Okay. All right. The people that are doing it have to start saying to people who aren't, man, that ain't cool. This is. All right. Look up my brother. His name is Clifford Stewart, late of Los Angeles, California. Grand Master of Martial Arts. They have him down as bodyguard to the stars. Muhammad Ali's bodyguard for 6 years, personal bodyguard and confidant. He was with him with the Thriller in Manila. He has so many damn black belts and grand masters of kung fu and everything else. He had 5 members of SEAL Team 6 on the Bin Laden raid were his students. Man is ferocious, most dangerous human alive in North America, according to Black Belt magazine for 15 years. But he also was a PhD, taught history at the University of Maryland. The Klan even wound up loving him because he could whip ass and keep things under control so well. He got 2 degrees at the same time. He was magna cum laude in his degree in geology and petroleum production at Cal State UCLA. He got a summa cum laude degree from UCLA in television and motion picture production at the same time. He went to 2 4-year colleges at the same time and is the baddest son of a bitch walking around on North American continent. Now, what he would tell you after he became co-executive producer on my show, because I brought him in, is a whole lot of stuff about getting your head together and your rest of yourself together. It's all a package. So we ran a playground at Trinity Avenue Elementary School in Los Angeles, and we put together something that works. We turned the whole damn community around. He was the playground director. I worked for him. There was another guy named Ron Chappelle, Dr. Ron Chappelle, another martial arts badass. And we turned that place around, and you've heard of 2 of our students. I bet you have. One of them was the late singer Barry White, who we first knew as a skinny little 12-year-old. And also the last person executed on California's death row, Tookie Williams, who was one of the co-founders of the LA chapter of what's now known as the Crips. He was 14 years old. He was a volunteer. We talked him into doing that. One of the smartest kids I've ever run into in my life. And he wrote all these kids' books trying to carry on what we were teaching him. He should have had his sentence commuted, but chicken shit Schwarzenegger let him go on and get executed because he didn't want it out that he and Tookie used to pump iron together and spotted for each other at Gold's Gym out in Santa Monica. See, shit works. And talking about keeping kids under control, the 3 of us used to take 200 kids every Wednesday night to downtown LA to the movies. They would be between kindergarten and the 7th grade. We'd keep these 200 kids, just the 3 of us young men, so quiet that patrons would say they didn't even realize there were any children in the show. Now,